And we're back.
And we're back. Take two. Some sound difficulty.
Our fourth try at recording this episode.
All right. Well, it's good to be back on the air doing another episode of the Cavalry.
Hopefully, people are enjoying our new intro music done by your fabulous brother-in-law.
Yes, Tom Donahue.
Yeah, we finally have real music that we own the rights to. The music, the previous intro song, which, you know, some people were a fan of, we got off one of those free music sites, and it explicitly said, do not use for podcasts. So
what do
we were taking a real risk for the first 52 episodes.
Yeah.
But we're legal now, so can't touch us.
Johnny and Andrew, we don't take orders. We do what we want.
From nobody.
We're such badasses.
We're rebels. We will play any free music. But no, so it's good. It's good to be back on the Cavalry. No guests, you know, another no guest classic. I feel a classic coming our way. I'm still down in Palm Springs despite this background. We now have a very crowded house here with my parents and my aunt and everybody. So I'm like, before I had a really cool, you know, the palm trees in the background and the mountains and everything. Now it's behind me is just like a bunch of shit, like
with your disappearing hand and wiggly head on the green screen.
Exactly. So you can. Oh, I didn't even pack the green screen. This is the broke fake Zoom background where it's really bad. You can.
Oh, okay.
You can really tell this is a fake background, but having a good time here in Palm Springs. You know.
Just relaxing, or are you doing stuff?
No, not at all. It's never worked hard in my life, because we have this house down here, and we rent it out. So then we work on it while we're here a lot. And I'm doing this back patio project where before it was just like ugly concrete, you know, and it was all stained and stuff. So I saw this thing on HGTV where you paint it and then you stencil it to make it look like tile. So you paint it like a base color, and then you come with the stencil, and you come in, and I figured you just roll over it, whatever, and it'll look really cool. And it does look cool, but I will tell you, never do it. No one should ever do this. It is the worst project. It takes so long.
It's hard.
You have one square stencil, and you have to tape it down each time and pick it up and put it exactly overlapping the other stencil so it looks good. And if you get any paint on the bottom of the stencil, or if you roll, see that you're supposed to use like a little stencil brush, but I was like, man, I can't, that's going to take forever. So I started rolling it, but then paint gets everywhere. It's a disaster. So I come back with the brush and touching it up, and Heidi's back like Michelangelo, like with the touch up paint, trying to correct all my mistakes. It's going to take so long. And I'm like halfway through, and you ever start something and just immediately like, oh God, I should not have started this. That's what this is.
Yeah, my wife, this was before we moved to LA. We had this big set of Ethan Allen furniture. It was like an armoire and two huge dressers. And it was nice. And she was like, let's sand it down and finish and put on like a dark finish. And so like a hand round sander, I had to sand these expensive, I mean, and we still have them now, and they don't look great because like I couldn't get into certain cracks and crevices, but I was like,
oh yeah. And then when you're once you like the first time you take the sander to it, and it's really expensive for it, you're like, there's no going back. Once you sand one part, you got to do the whole thing. That's what the stencil is like. Once you can't like do a quarter of it. It looks so stupid. So
couldn't you like when you first said it, I thought like, couldn't you like, what if you got a bunch of stencils? Tape them together and then just lay it down and then do it all and then pull the whole thing up.
If I could do it all over again, I would have ordered like 50. They're like $16, these stencils off. My wife got it off Etsy, you know, so I would have ordered like, you know, the whole patio worth of them. I would have paid the money. I don't care.
I'm like can you do, what if you got like construction paper and just cut out the shape and then set it down? Maybe I'm not picturing the same thing.
No, it's like a big square plastic in design, you know, so with shipping and everything, it was like $16. And it's made to withstand paint over and over and over again. So it's like a hard plastic stencil. It's surely there's
You
some
gotta
markup
send me
done.
after this. You gotta send me a picture of it. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I just think I'm picturing a piece of paper with a rectangle cutting a hole in it
No, it's like a like intricate. Like there's literally like 100 little holes in the stencil itself, so it
to
makes
make
like
it
a
look
nice
like a
design.
design.
Yeah, yeah. So it looks like
Oh, okay.
fancy tile when you're done. And that's why it takes so long because you're like going in between every little like, oh, I missed a spot here, and
Oh,
you're
when you
like
say
dabbing it.
tile, I just thought like subway tile,
It's not
like a
just
backsplash.
it's not just a hole with a big circle in it. Yeah, I could or I could have just painted it one color,
Yeah.
I guess a solid color. That's what I should have done. But
And then just
so I'm
drawing lines, and then
yeah. But no, if I could do it all over again, I would have bought like 30 of these things and lined them all up ahead of time and just only moved them like twice. That
yeah.
is the way to go. Because this is
Well, next time. Next time.
no, that's the thing. There will be no next time. I'm never doing this again.
Oh
So
gosh.
that's my fabulous Palm Springs vacation so far.
Sounds relaxing.
But no one's puked in anything yet. So
Well, that's good. Then your vacations are better than ours so far. There's still time. There's still time.
no, yeah, I shouldn't jinx it. We got another week left
Yeah.
and a flight home with a dog and a baby. So we'll have to see how it
Oh,
goes.
plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Yeah, there'll be some puking. I'll just get
So I ran my almost half marathon.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I finished. My target was so it's a 20K, which is frustrating because that's 12.4 miles, and a half marathon is 13.1. And I got to the end, and I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna run through the gate because I had my Nike Run, like my Nike app. I was like, I'm gonna run through the gate and just do another, what, 0.6, 0.7 miles.
Sure,
And
which
I
sounds
stopped.
exhausting to me.
Right. But I stopped in the gate. They give you your medal, they give you your sandwich, and they give you like a Gatorade or whatever. So I like stopped
Wait,
to
wait,
get
wait,
the
wait, wait.
sandwich.
What kind of sandwich? I don't know if
I
I'd want a
like a
sandwich after running 15 miles.
I gave it to my son. I don't know. There was tomatoes and lettuce on it. It was gross. So like so anyways. So
Here's your celebratory Kit Kat bar. Thank you. God. Finally.
someone who gets me. So I get the sandwich, and I I had to stop to get the sandwich and get the medal and put it on. And then I took 2 steps and just fell. My knee locked up, because I didn't walk at all in the whole race. And I my knee just it just tightened up as soon as I gave it enough time to tighten up, and I couldn't walk. And I just fell over, and I was like, oh, crap. So my knee was just shot the rest of the day. But yeah, my target
man.
time was 2 hours, and I went under 2 hours.
Well, congratulations, buddy. And that's really tough because when you said, oh, and then all I have to do is run zero point 0.6 miles, I'd be like, if I had to go tonight and run 0.6 miles, that would be very difficult for me. So that is not an easy task,
Well,
but
you're throwing it on top.
very disappointed that you weren't able to finish the job because of that crappy sandwich and what I assume is a dumb medal.
I know, annoying.
Should have just let
You know, it's
keep
funny
going.
though. I've never done like a race thing, and so, and they have stations every 2 miles. They have stations where they give you goo or Gatorade water, or whatever. And it was very obvious I'd never run before because I discovered because my goal is I'm not gonna stop at all. I'm not gonna stop and walk because I just want to be able to say I ran the whole thing. When you stop at the
Right.
station, it is impossible to drink while running. I took a cup of Gatorade and it's just all over my face. I'm like, oh, I guess you have to stop to drink the cup and then throw it away and
Well,
keep
that's
going.
why when I've only watched, never ran, but when I've watched marathons, they just throw it on their face. And I've always kind of wondered, man, that seems like a big waste, but they're always just throwing the water or their Gatorade all over their face. But that makes sense. It would be it's very hard to walk and drink at the same time,
Yeah. Yeah. You
much less
basically have
run.
to stop for a couple seconds to just, take a shot of water.
I also wish you had finished and just kept running through the finish line because that would have made you look like an insane person to just keep
I
going.
know.
It's like, no, I'm not in the race. I just have places to. I'm very late. I scheduled an appointment for right after this marathon. I thought I would have been a little faster,
Yeah.
and I need to get to the dentist.
I have to get back to my car. I don't have time for this bullshit medal
It's
ceremonies.
like Forrest Gump running through the
Yeah.
end zone. There's a sports reference you can get.
Oh, sure. Forrest Gump, sure.
Forrest
Because it's a
Gump.
movie.
Fake sports that happen in
course.
movies that aren't about sports.
Right, right.
No, that's amazing. Oh my gosh, I would say that's inspiring, but it's not gonna make me want to do that. So
You know, I
But I am
realized, and I
impressed.
talked to my brother about it, is I was like, it was, because I'd never run more than, I mean, I'd run 10 miles once before, and that was like, and this is 12, and a half. And it's like childbirth. I'm doing it. And after I'm done, I'm talking to my brother. I'm like, never in a million years.
yeah,
Because I thought a marathon would be on my bucket list. Hell no. I didn't even do half of that. And I'm dying. There's no way. He's like, yeah, well, in 2 days you'll be like, I could do it again. And then literally the next day I was like looking for half marathons. I was like, I gotta do a half marathon.
see,
Because you forget about it. It's just like birth. You forget and you're like, oh, I'll have another kid.
but you were the next day. See, Heidi, she has had birth and had that same reaction because the pregnancy, made her sick and back and all that stuff. And so she was like, never again. And I was not the next day. She like, let's have another kid. Let me just tell you, we were both.
Well,
like,
yeah.
oh,
To be
let's keep,
fair, running is not the same, but I'm just,
yeah. Yeah,
I'd rather
you can
run for 2 hours than push a baby out of my butt.
That's a good. Yeah, that analogy never goes well for a dude to be like blank is like giving birth.
Right.
Nobody's gonna listen after that. At least women. I listened. I thought it was very interesting, but
That's why I like talking in my stand-up. I talk about vasectomy, and I'm like, I talk about how the numbing shot hurts so much. It's the most pain I've ever felt. Ladies, you are so lucky. You will never have to. And then they start like, some of them are like, they get mad, like they think I'm serious.
yeah, like you.
That was when I pulled out. That was when I pulled out the Doug James on the cruise ship. They were all like, "Boo!" And I was like, "I got something for you."
For those of you listening at home, the Doug James is when you give the audience both middle fingers after what is a very reasonable reaction by the audience.
Right.
Oh, and the classic pulling the middle fingers out of your pocket. And I think he would even search. Did you search around in the pocket for the middle finger? That's the
I
big
didn't.
key to it.
I haven't been doing it long enough.
No, the real technicians will search around in their pocket looking for what they have for you, and what it is.
Yeah, I just kind of did it sloppy. I haven't been doing the bit for 26 years, so I don't have the nuances.
You don't have it. Well, you're not a master of your craft like Doug is.
Right.
Shout out to Doug James. Boy, I was thinking like Doug is this comedy booker in Southern California, and he has 2 gigs that have been the same bar gigs on the same night for like 150 years, like literally the oldest gigs in America. I would honestly, as far as a bar gig once a week goes, put it against anything as the oldest. The posters were like from the 80s, and he hadn't changed.
Gallagher's in
yeah,
Hermosa Beach, Huntington Beach,
yeah,
and then
the one way down there in San Clemente. I can't think of the name of the place,
like
but
an Irish, I don't know.
Yeah, he's an interesting character, and I was thinking like
Molly Blooms.
Molly Blooms. He was probably the last one to shut down for COVID. Like it would have taken FBI agents to stop him from booking, and comics were still driving 3 hours for $40 or whatever.
Right.
Doing it, but
yeah,
and hopefully they're back. I don't know. Maybe he's back in business. We'll have to look into it. But hey, buddy, that brings me. I think that ends pre-show banter.
Pre-show banter.
Classic.
Pretty good. We're all caught up.
Classic pre-show banter. But Johnny, do you need backup this week? What do you need backup on?
I do need backup. We'll start with this one. So, you know how like bands always come out with like, 25 years later, 30 years later, the classic album remastered from the original tapes.
Yeah.
Side by side. No one on earth could tell you the difference between the original recording, like if you bought the CD when it came out, and this remastered from original tapes. It's the same shit. They're just trying to push, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's an easy
It's
one.
a money grab. It's an
Yeah,
easy one, but it's
it's a
also
layup.
I know nothing. Like I'm the worst when it comes to music. I'm like with music like you are with sports. I know very, very little. I just know what they play on the radio basically.
Okay.
And so a lot of times when they do those remastered albums, it's like I'm just like when I find like when I look for somebody, you hear somebody on the radio and you're like, oh, I'm gonna find them on Apple or whatever. They have all these, like if you're trying to look for the Who, right? Let's say you just heard about the Who,
Okay.
you're gonna get really into the Who. The first albums that pop up are all the remastered or the live taping. It's never like the original. The first albums that
Classic
pop
album.
up, it should be the what they made them famous, and then all the money grab albums should be behind that, you know. But when you search for it on like Apple Music or whatever, it's always like whatever their stupid, you know what I mean? I don't want to hear
Yeah.
the live. First of all, yes to your thing, and also live albums, like I don't need that at all, like with all the cheering and the
That's
crowds.
all.
It's like
Yeah.
that.
See, I could get behind that only for my favorite bands. Like maybe top three, four favorite. If it's like, oh, this I'm a casual fan, casual listen. I don't need Coldplay's live album.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No,
I
because
like
then
their
they're,
album, but like not enough to.
I mean, I guess it's one thing, you're like, oh, you can hear the roar of the crowd or whatever, but then they include like the banter too between, hey, everybody, just wanted to let you know that Syracuse, New York is our favorite city in the world. I want to hear this, you know?
See, like with Counting Crows, because that's my favorite. Like, I, I mean, I have a trunk full of just like even low quality, shitty recordings from like those. Like I'll listen to because I like some bands will mix it up. You listen to live stuff and they'll like weave in and out of songs. Like Pearl Jam will sing like Pink Floyd in the middle of other songs, and Counting Crows does that all the time. They'll sing Bruce
Yeah.
Springsteen or whatever, and it's very improv-y. And so that I can appreciate only for the bands that I'm like diehard huge fans of. Other than
No,
that, I don't give a shit.
yeah, I get that. I just, I don't know. I think bands in general could do a little less banter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like
never
comedian,
like it when. Yeah, if
I
you
guess
ever
because
see
as
a
a
band where the singer like starts like telling jokes and like
yes, all
getting
the time.
huge response, and you're like, no, no, just do what you're supposed to fucking do. They all like you because you're a singer, so they're laughing because, oh
Yeah.
my God, he's a double threat. No, he's not. That was stupid. That wasn't funny. Calm down, everyone. You just like him because of his songs.
But that is like classic comedian thing to do. Like when someone else is making people happy
Right.
and making them laugh. That isn't funny. And it's like everyone's happy and having a good time, and you just can't let them enjoy it. Yeah, but it was a trick.
Right.
That's an old joke. And you're like, just let him have it. I mean, everyone's he's not a comedian, but it is. I guess that's why I take it personally, because it's like, as a comedian, I don't, start
I don't
singing
sing. Yeah.
in between bits, start whistling. You know what I mean?
And if you did, you wouldn't get the fucking response they get when they tell a
Wow. I'd be
joke.
like, wow, what a great whistler.
Mm.
Maybe I will start whistling.
Although I take that back because you ever working with like a black comic. This has happened only when I've worked with black comics, where they'll like do a joke and then they'll sing and they're fucking really good singers, and then like the audience is like, oh my God, whoa, double threat guy. I bet if there's a singer in the audience, they're probably like, oh, that's a fucking easy song. Calm down.
Everyone can sing that. I've worked with comics who, obviously there's musical comics, but then everything they've done it's like a parody, or maybe they lip
Yeah.
sync or something as a joke or to be funny. But no, I don't think I've ever worked with anyone who just started singing a tune in between jokes.
Well,
And
it's
it's like
like they'll be like, "Oh,
sincerely.
so I'm out of the club and I'm trying to seduce this girl, whatever," and then and then they actually like sing, like to show off they can sing, and it's like you're disguising it
Uh,
as a bit, but you just want to show off that you have a fucking good voice.
yeah, I see that. That was like my friend. There's this great comedian named Fahim Anwar. He started in Seattle and lives in LA now, but he
Mhm.
very funny. You should check him out. But then also we used to talk about him because he would like he's such a good dancer. He's like the most amazing dancer I've
Oh
ever
yeah,
seen in my
I
life.
follow him on Instagram. Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
That's
So you
really
know,
funny.
follow him on Instagram. He's very funny, but he's also like legitimately insanely talented dancer. And so we would say like he just finds a way to work some sort of dancing into every. So I remember he had this bit about Usher.
Doesn't he have a character that just dances, like with
Yeah,
a
yeah, he
mullet or
has
something?
a Lance Canstopoulos.
Yes.
He's like this Greek guy who loves to dance, but he had this bit I remember about Usher. If Usher was a movie Usher, and then he could dance like Usher, but then like showing people to their seats. And I was like, that is a bit that is so thin without the dancing. There's very little there, but it was hilarious because he could sell it because he could dance. I was like,
Yeah.
that just shows you like when you're talentless, like I am, like it's quite a slog being a performer.
Yeah. We really got to work on our
I'm
material.
really Doug James in it up there when when you have nothing to give them. Uh, Other than this podcast and a few pithy observations. But
I should run 12.4 miles between jokes and be like, "Hey,
yeah,
look what else I can do." That was less than two
quite the
hours.
athlete. Oh wait, I wanted to get an update on that before. First of all, yes, I'm backing you up. I wish I knew more about music to know if it really is bullshit, like whatever original recordings, remastering, whatever that means. I don't even like it with movies when they're like, they do I don't know, like what's the Ridley Scott one with Harrison Ford and Blade Runner.
Oh yeah, Blade
Oh,
Runner.
it's like
Yeah,
whatever. It's the same movie, I don't know. It
yeah.
does nothing for me. But what about your knee? Is your knee okay? Or are you like
Yeah, no,
hopping along?
I ran 5 miles twice since that run, and that run was on the
You're
first.
you're like addicted to
I
running.
know I
You
am.
you
I
have
always
you
thought
have the
people that were like, "Oh, I am Jones and Fry." I thought they were like out of their mind, stupid idiots, and a lot of them are. But like I do, I do get the itch. I think I'm gonna take a break after May because I want to get this
of
on the Nike
course.
Run Club
You
app.
sound like a junkie. Oh, I think I'm gonna take a break. And I know my limit. I know when I get out of control, and I can stop at any time.
No, but
Okay.
there's an app, the Nike Run Club app that I'm on, my brother's on, Christina's on, and that
Yes.
you
The
can get a one.
controversial Christina
Oh,
Walkinshaw
that's
who
right. That's right. We
walks.
talked about it. Yeah. No, Jen Murphy walks.
Oh, Jen Murphy walks. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, just
Christina
cheating.
fired her.
Yeah.
But there you can get a badge for running 100 miles in a month. And last month I would have gotten it, but I had to slow down because I was coming on race day. I got 92 point some miles. So this month I'm getting 100 miles, getting the badge, and then I'm going to go back to like 2-3 miles every other day. That's the plan.
Yeah, that sounds like the way it works usually in life. Once I get this badge, I can just
Once I get this
I'll be
stupid,
totally satisfied
yeah.
in my life. But no, there's worse things to be addicted to, of course, than running. So I
A
think
lot.
yeah, you're in
Yeah,
good
but my
shape.
knee's
Good
fine. It comes and goes. I don't know. My wife is convinced I'm going to have a metal knee replacement very
It comes
soon.
and goes is such an old guy. That's old guy Hall of Fame language right there. It comes and goes. I'd put it comes and goes up there against that's like you're just one step away from being able to tell the weather from your knee
Right.
acting up.
Oh, it's gonna be storming soon. I can feel it.
My
Everyone I've talked to
badges.
has told me I need to see someone about it, but I there's something such a pain in the ass about seeing a doctor for a particular reason. You know?
Yeah, it's the United States of America. It is a pain in the ass to see the doctor for anything. I don't even, yeah, like, because this is the most annoying thing in the world. when you have a knee problem. It's like if you're like I used to have lower back pain, right?
Yeah.
Sciatica. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
so I knew exactly which doctor I wanted to see, the lower back specialist doctor, you know?
Yeah.
But there's no, you can't just go, you can't diagnose yourself as having back pain. You know what I mean? Like you've got
Well,
to
you
go
got to get the
see,
referral.
yeah, you got to go see the idiot generic doctor, the moron who just has a picture of
The
like,
moron who went to medical school.
no, I'm sorry. If you become a primary care doctor, you are the idiot of medical school. They give you that game where you electrocution or whatever, where you do
Operation.
surge. Yeah, operation. And that if you do that, you can be a primary care doctor. And they have the little picture of the body behind them, and then they have like a knee reflex thing, and that's a stethoscope. And that's all they teach them. And then you're like, oh, my ear hurts. Hey, you know who you should see? The goddamn ear doctor. Because I don't know anything about ears, you know?
Yeah.
Heidi went to see a primary care doctor one time, and they literally Googled in front of her. She was describing her symptoms, and they Googled what was going on. It's like,
Oh
hey, I
wow.
have internet access.
Did I not need to come here?
You didn't. But then I don't know what I wish they would tell me what the scheme or why they set it up that way or what the scheme is. I don't know if it works that way in other countries too or what, but because they were saying that with the vaccine, they were like, hey, some people don't trust the vaccine, but they'll trust it from their regular doctor. And I was like, who has a regular do you have just a doctor you see like Dr. Bill, and you've seen him like over the course of your adult life? Since I've turned 18, I think every time I've seen a doctor, it was a different person.
Yeah, well, me too. I have seen a doctor. He was not my regular doctor, but I saw the doctor that took that weird thing out of next to my penis. Didn't we talk about that?
Yeah, I think so. It's hard to remember all the
Yeah, it
weird
feels like
things.
that would stick out in our memories, but who knows?
Well, you've had a lot of things taken out of your penis, but no, but wait, you're saying you did see that doctor multiple times? There was a doctor you trusted?
No, I went. Yeah, I was like, oh, I got to see this doctor because I have this bump, and he was like, oh yeah, it's nothing. It's benign. It's probably an ingrown hair or whatever. Okay, and then it turned terrible, so I called the same doctor, and I was like, hey, you said I could leave this, and now it's red and hurts.
Yeah, it's good to call the one who was wrong, because now they're on the hook.
Yeah,
and they feel responsible.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't remember what I was, but yeah, you should get your knee looked at. Go to see that penis doctor.
Right. So you also think I should? All right, I won't, but okay.
Why not? I don't understand.
They're too fucking lazy. They don't have there's no knee doctor.
The only person I know who's lazy.
What do I just look up that in the yellow pages?
Well, I love you're too lazy to go see the doctor about your knee that you hurt from running 13 and a half miles. It's a very specific kind of laziness. Like you could run to this doctor probably 3 times and back and still not be 13 and a half miles.
But I don't want to look up how to contact.
But you can't look up how to do. There are some things like that where you just have very specific blocks. Like for my wife, it's like returning. Like, have you ever? We've talked about this. Trying to return something that you bought online. It's impossible.
I told her I'm done. I sounded like an asshole, abusive husband, but I'm like, I'm fucking done. I'm not doing it. You order this shit. You don't even know your own size. You're like, oh, I'll just try it on when I buy it, and then I'll have you return it.
Yeah. And she has. So then our friend Robert was here at the house from LA, and he left his Kindle. And so then he's like, oh, can you just mail it back to me? I mean, how hard do you think that's good? We haven't done it yet. And he's even texted like, hey, did you happen to send? Like, buddy, we need to really work up to this. It could be.
It might be easier if you just come fly back and get it.
No, the return address is going to be from Portland. We don't leave Palm Springs till Sunday. And that Kindle is definitely coming from.
That's hilarious.
From Portland. But yeah, but I'm backing you up on whatever it was that this started.
Yeah, We have really gotten
And
off
now I
course.
now I just want to talk about primary care physicians. I should have saved that for a topic because goddamn, do I hate those
It
morons.
sounds like it. My goodness.
Well, it's just such a when have they ever
When
cured?
did Yeah, I don't know.
They
Yeah, I
can
never
they can like
thought about that. They just kind of redirect you. They're like,
you know what they are?
here's
They're like, hey, have you thought of antibiotics? Here's some antibiotics. That's like their own. That's their go-to move. You got like a
yeah.
screwdriver sticking out of your head. Hey, here's some antibiotics. Uh, okay, here's what I
Uh,
need. This is my topic.
okay.
Back up on. See if you can help me out on this.
I bet I can.
We need to, we're coming out of COVID now. People, you can go to restaurants now. We're still eating. We got, we're halfway through our vaccine, so we're still eating outside only. But we're starting to go to restaurants more. And
Wait, what do you
went to
mean you're
this
halfway through your vaccine?
well, I'm just the doctor's literally poking it in my arm right now, and they're not. No, I'm saying I got the first one, and then I gotta get the second.
That's what I thought you meant, but I thought for some reason I thought you'd already gotten it. Okay, you got your
Yeah,
you and Heidi both got your first.
we've both had our first, and then we're gonna get our second here pretty
Okay.
soon. So, yeah, but Pfizer, by the way, I don't know why do people need to say which one.
I don't. Pfizer's the best, right? Isn't that like? Don't you feel like
it
I got
is.
the one that works?
That's the top. It's like the A.
It's the
But
top.
it's the only like medicine anyone's ever paid attention to, like who's making it. Like nobody knows where their smallpox vaccine came. You know what I mean? Like I got a tetanus shot. You know? Oh,
Which
was
one?
it the was it the Kroger?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we go to this restaurant, and we're meeting our parents there, and or my parents there, and running a little behind. They won't seat. It's a 5 o'clock reservation, okay? And there's three of them there, and it's two of us and Ginger, and they won't seat the party until the full, or they won't seat them until the full party is there for the reservation. Now, you look at the restaurant, there's nobody. It's 5 o'clock. There's nobody else here. What is this insane? First of all, even if it was crowded, I don't under. You worked in the food service industry, so maybe you can shed some light on this.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the point? Because all they did was cost themselves the drinks my parents would have ordered while they were waiting for us to show up. Now instead they have to just stand outside like idiots, outside the restaurant.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I only worked at pizza places. Like,
you guys didn't have that.
We didn't have that problem.
I went to Pizza Hut and they were like, where is the rest of your party, sir? Please don't take up the booth until everybody's here. But I do not understand the policy whatsoever. I say get rid of it.
Maybe I can understand it if it's crowded, and it's like, well, we have people that can take this spot. We don't want you to just sit there and order a drink when this party's ready to go and they can order their food. But like you said, that's not the case. That's stupid. Maybe they're just
I think it's
to the rule.
And I don't know. I'm not understanding the perspective of the restaurant owner or the workers. But for me, it's personally inconvenient. I say let's get rid of it. And also, but like, okay,
I do too.
So maybe what you're saying, like, oh, if it's crowded, then people, because you want to turn over tables quickly, right?
Yeah, but now I'm thinking if it's your reservation, that's your table.
Yeah. And you took a reservation for after, you know what I mean? Like, so, you only have so many people come tonight. Theoretically, it's basically like they're trying to oversell airline tickets or something,
Yeah. Oh.
And they're like, oh, you can sit at the bar. Well, first of all, people aren't necessarily comfortable sitting at the bar. They want to sit outside during COVID. And also, then other people can sit at the bar. You know what I mean? Like, then if there's room at the bar, then why do they need my table?
Right. Why do they need my table that I reserved when I called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also it should be a percent. If anything, it should be a percent. Now I get it if it's like I show up and it's a party of 12, like you don't have to seat me by myself while I wait for my 12 imaginary.
Right. So it
was
was you, Ginger, and Heidi, and you were waiting on what? Just your two parents?
Other way around, but yeah. So it's my parents and my aunt, and they were waiting on. So they had three.
Oh, okay.
I say as long as you have more people than the people you're waiting for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, seat them.
Seat them.
Ridiculous. Stupid.
What if you got stood up? What if you were like one person and you're like, I have a party of 13 coming and they did seat you and then every single other person didn't show? That would be a hilarious scene if you got
Oh,
stood up. Like,
you're alone at a table of 13?
yeah. And they did seat you and you're like, they never come. That'd be very embarrassing.
That would be.
Not one other person is coming, huh? Oh, they'll be
Yeah,
here.
Daniel Leach, you ever work with Daniel Leach's? He's got a joke
Oh,
about
yeah.
that. He does that on purpose, or he's like, it's a good way to get a free meal. He acts like it's his birthday party, and they feel bad for him because nobody showed.
So there's like a 15
Like, no, they'll come. They'll
table.
come.
Oh, that's classic. Everybody I know to just show up this late. Yeah, they'll be here.
They'll be here. You know what's hilarious? Oh my god, I laughed so hard. We were visiting her mom in Brookfield, and there was some new, hoity-toity, ritzy um, area being developed, and Erin heard about this like gourmet burger restaurant, and she was like, "Oh, we should go there for lunch. It's gonna be me, it was me, her, our kids, her mom, and then she had a sponsored. She was a big sister, little brother, whatever, when she was in high school or in college. So we met up with him, and we were gonna take him, and she was like, "Oh, we gotta, I want to call, make sure that they have space." And so she called, and she's like, "Yeah, do you guys take reservations?" And they're like, no, you can just come in. We show we show up. It's like it was like a fucking Burger King. I laughed so hard. It was empty, and it was like a fast food place. She was like, "Oh, I thought it was like a fancy," and I am howling just thinking about the lady that had to take the call of like, "Do you guys take reservations?" Oh my god, it was so funny.
we could. You could tell me what time you're gonna be here, and I could tell you if it's gonna be busy. But
Oh yeah, we'll probably
have I
be
told it?
dead.
I can't remember if I've told this story on the podcast or not before, but my buddy Brian, who knew the when I lived in Boston, he was like, "Oh, you got to try this sandwich place. It's like so good." Same thing. It's like I tried it last week. It's amazing. You got to go. So I'm the only one of us with a car. So I'm like, all right, let's go. So we drive out like 45 minutes to the sandwich place and go up as a goddamn Panera. It's like, you've never had Panera? She's like, "Oh, it's really good." I was like, it's like McDonald's. It's a chain. They have these everywhere. It's like, really? It's like, yes, really.
That's
45
so
minutes.
funny. Didn't even know.
Panera.
He's like,
We
yeah, it's my little secret spot. I know. I take people to it when they come to town.
Yeah, this a little Italian joint called the Olive Garden. It's great. You got to try it. No, but I was like, I swear to God, we probably passed like 3 Paneras on the way to this Panera.
Oh my god, that's
man.
hilarious. Yeah, I totally back you up. They should get rid of that stupid rule,
Okay.
or at least explain it.
No.
Yeah, don't even explain it. No one gives a shit. You're an idiot.
Just do it. I don't care how it works. No, I'm sure there might be something that goes into it. I don't know. No. I just think like at 5 o'clock.
Guessing yourself. You were
also
right.
have to. Yeah, give some like, I hate when they're like, well, that's the rule, that's the policy. If we change it for you, then we have to change it for everybody. It's like, no, you don't. Not everybody's going to be here at 5 o'clock and look around and see a bunch of empty tables and go, this is ridiculous. You can just have people sitting down and ordering drinks right now. That's not going to be the case every time. And then if they say that, you go, no, we're busy. We don't do that. And then they would go, oh, yeah, you are busy.
Right.
Exceptions. Get on board with exceptions. That's my new.
Yeah, do it like we did it at Pizza Hut, for God's sakes. They got it.
Yeah, hey, Pizza Hut, are they hurting for business? I don't think so. Things are working out pretty good for them.
Well, that one actually ended up closing down, but that's I think it's a Walgreens now. Anyway.
Okay, we'll do it like they do it at Walgreens. You don't need a reservation for Walgreens. Okay, but you have another
I do. I have here. So this is my other one. This is another layup to throw a baseball reference at you.
I'm on vacation. I don't want to work too hard this week.
That's right. Yeah. So I don't even know what my angle is. This is just kind of my excuse to tell a story of what happened. So we had a new sink put in because Aaron wanted a new sink that looks the same as the old one, And so we had that put in. And so
Is
you,
it
and you
his or
got
hers?
no, a kitchen sink.
Oh, kitchen sink.
So,
Okay.
and it is different. I'm being silly. But when you pay to get a counter and a new sink, you have to also think you have to add the cost of the plumber to rehook up your sink, because the
Of
people that put
course.
in the thing don't do that. You just put in a sink with holes, and you can. And I just assumed the whole time, well, I'll just plug it in. But if it's not the exact same height, you got to re-pipe and whatever. So my hands are tied. Had to call a plumber. I'm calling all these plumbers. That's a racket, plumbing. So the guy, every place is like, well, we have a $125 trip fee, and then it's $110 an hour, blah blah. So I'm calling. Oh, I'm going down the list. I get this company. It's a glass and plumbing, and she's like, well, we don't have.
That's a good combo.
It
Glass
is. Yeah.
and plumbing. That's very interesting.
So she goes, we don't have a trip fee. It's $100 an hour plus parts. I said, okay, do you prorate? Yes. Okay, so that's it. $100 an hour and parts. She's like, yep. So, the guys come, there's a guy and this other young kid, and so
His
they do the
apprentice,
job. Huh?
the plumber's apprentice.
Yeah, I don't, whoever, just some kid, whatever, I guess, is
Oh,
apprentice.
okay.
And so whatever, they do that. I time it. They walk in the door. Boop. I start my stopwatch. And they leave. It's like an hour 37. Okay. So I'm like, all right, that's fine. And they bill you later, so you can't do anything at the moment. So I get the bill. Parts were $66. Okay. That's fine. You got
Okay.
to put in whatever, blah, blah, blah. The bill was $425, I think. So now here's where we've talked about my brother, the dentist. One of his skills, because he is a pro. First of all, he has to deal with, and he has his own practice, so he has to deal with like insurance companies, collections, like getting money, and so he's
Right.
the master at dealing with customer service. And the secret that he says, you just don't talk. You say your thing. You make them.
The
You like,
pregnant
so
pause.
here's what his advice was. Call them, act like you're a new customer, say, how does this work? What's the pricing? And then after she says everything, be like, okay, so that's how it works. Okay, good. Now I have an invoice here, number 123. I had you guys come out. Now, why is my bill this? And I was like, oh God, okay, I'm gonna do this. I can do
That's
this.
good.
I can do this. So, and I recorded the call so I could send it to him. So, because I need tips, I need to get better. I should have just had him do it. I've had him do this before. I think I had him call Menards like 2 times when I was dealing with that horse shit. Anyway, so I call. He's like, just have her spell it out, and then after you ask, don't talk, don't break the silence. Just make her sit in it. So I call. She's like, oh well, for this job it was a sink reconnection, so we had him bring a buddy. We had him bring a friend to help him, and I'm like, okay, so I'm paying $100 per person. That wasn't disclosed to me. She's like, no, not 100 per person. The apprentice or the helper was 55. Now I'm watching them work. I'm basically paying this guy to train his little new guy. That's what it was. And I was so pissed off. And she explained it, and she was like, so that's what it was. And I was like, oh, I didn't, so I'm basically paying for this other guy. It's because there's 2 guys. And she was like, yeah, that's what it is. And then there was this silence. And I should have, but I caved. I was like, oh, can I just pay over the phone with a credit card? I was so pissed at myself, and I was so embarrassed to send the call to Luke, because I was like, oh, I blew it.
Yeah,
But
that's where you
I
have
think
to,
that's bullshit.
the call got deleted.
Yeah, I don't
You
know
got
what
lost.
happened. So I
No.
paid it, but like that's bullshit. Like you send 2 people, it's not $100 an hour. It's $100 per person plus a helper fee or whatever, 55 an hour for this guy to get trained.
Right. They should
Kid
totally
didn't do
tell you.
shit.
I think it should be the reverse. I think if they bring an apprentice, you should get. It's like when you go to like a teaching hospital or something, and it's cheaper.
Oh
You get your
yeah.
hair cut at the like fashion academy,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
like, and they knock $20. It should be less. If
Yeah, I
anything, they
agree.
should give you a discount if they bring New Jack along to like test
Fuck
out the
up my
skills.
sink. Yeah.
Exactly, because he probably did a crappy job. So no, that's horrible, and I'm very embarrassed for you that you caved so easily.
I know. It's pathetic. God damn it. Whatever.
But it's good. You know what? But you're better than me in one respect because you were talking about like thumbing through the phone book. Like, first of all, in my head, I was literally picturing you with a phone book looking for plumbers. I'm like, what world am
Google Maps. Google
I, what
Maps.
century am I in? That was literally in my head. I was like, oh, he had a phone book. And they had like the little picture of the plumber, had the big ad.
It's funny because when
Uh,
I actually do get a phone book, because they do sometimes put phone books, I'm just like, what the fuck is who the fuck put this piece of now I gotta throw this fucking big old brick out? You know?
I like that you really take out your misplaced anger that you should save for the plumbers on the poor phone book that didn't do anything wrong. It's just trying to help you.
Just trying to help.
It's trying to help you find a better plumber. Maybe if you use the
Yeah.
phone book, you wouldn't have gotten ripped off. But
Yeah.
yeah, it should have been cheaper if anything. But here's where we're different. It's because I would have the first place I saw, I just would have called and they'd be like, "Hey, it's 125 hourly." I just would okay. Because in my head, it's like they're all the same. You're not going to get a deal. There's nobody better
Yeah.
than the other. They all know what it costs. So I'm just going to take the top one with the most reviews.
That's what I do in a lot of situations. But this one, I was putting it on top of the cost of the sink and the counters, and I was like, I got to save money somewhere.
It is good.
I'll make multiple phone calls.
No, it's good you did it. Get it done. That's right. Now you have a nice new sink. It's all hooked up. It
Yeah.
reminded me of when you were talking about just there's like just holes. It reminded me of when we have in our house at the kitchen sink, there's one of those soap dispensers that is built into the sink.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
then you have to refill it, with hand soap or dish soap or whatever.
From underneath, or no?
No, you can screw the top off the
Oh, okay.
pump,
Okay.
and then there's just a plastic cylinder that sits underneath the sink that's
Yeah.
attached.
Okay.
Well, that had broken. It's like an old thing, so it had broken off,
Mhm.
so it didn't work. There was no plastic underneath it. But
Yeah.
I just left the cylinder, the pump there because I was like, whatever, I don't know what to do with it. Maybe I'll fix it one day. I had the
Yeah.
thought, like, maybe I'll put that plastic back. So I'll leave everything intact. And then my brother-in-law, who was living with us at the time, was trying to be nice, and he was refilling the soap thing. And it goes, as he's like just pouring soap in there and pouring soap and pouring. And he's like, God damn, this thing takes a lot of soap. Just the entire thing.
Just
It's
dumping
like
it
just
all
seeping
everything
out the
below.
bottom. Yeah, so it covered all of our good
Oh god.
all that crap you keep in the bottom of the sink was covered with
Right. Your
soap.
cleaning products and trash bags with
Yeah,
soap.
all our poison. But
Nice.
yeah, so it's just
Yeah.
there's nothing worse because they got you by the balls. There's just nothing else. You can't what are you gonna do? Learn how to do it yourself?
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, what's the alternative really? So you pay for this
Correct.
guy's buddy. No
Whatever.
good.
All right. You back me up. All right. What do you need backup with?
Okay, well this is good. It's coming at the end here because this will be quick, I think. But I here's what I need backup. And a lot of times I've done this where I feel like there's a misrepresentation in like pop culture or movies of how it is in real life. So like in the movies, right? If you get really drunk, then you always like sleep through something in the morning. You always like you pass out, and then it's like the next thing you know, your alarm's going off and you miss your alarm, and then the next morning, and then you're next thing you wake up at noon, you're like, holy shit, I got too drunk last night, now I'm late for work or my flight or
Yeah.
whatever. The truth is, I don't know, maybe this is the way it is for you or not. When I drink too much, I pass out, and then I get up at about 1:30 in the morning, and I cannot go back to sleep. Like there's some that is like the defining. Now it's like I know if I want to sleep, I can't drink the night before. There's no like sleeping through an alarm. It's like I get up over and over and over again if I drink too much. That's the reality
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
find.
I feel like I've had both. I feel like I can relate to
Okay.
that where I don't sleep well at all. I'll wake up, I'll get up throughout the night, but once I hit a certain spot, I I could coast until 1 if I'm able to reach that deep. But it's
Okay. See, I guess I never get back because what I assume what happens, we should have a scientist come on and explain it. But what I assume what happens is you have like the pass out version of the sleep, and
Mhm.
that maybe in college I could drink enough where that would last me till 10, 11 a.m., noon or something.
Yeah.
But now that only lasts me till like 2 in the morning, and then I'm like,
Passing out at
and
what time?
yeah, like
Midnight?
8:30.
Oh. Oh, wow.
Whenever I go to bed, now we're going to bed so early. No, I
When the
swear to
party
God,
starts.
I've become, since Ginger and then COVID and the idea of doing these late shows for comedy, it's a 10 o'clock show sounds insane to me now. I don't know what
I know.
I don't even
I
know.
know. I totally agree. Isn't that depressing though? Or are
Yes,
you like
yes.
fine with it? Because I'm
No,
like,
no, no. It's very depressing because I have this, I used to, like, when I started comedy, not only would you do the late show, then it would end, then you'd hang out with comics, and then you go to a diner, and then it'd be like 4 in the morning before you, that is, there, I don't know if I'll ever get it back. I don't think I'll ever be like a late night person again.
yeah,
It's hard to see it. I don't know. And these late, I used to tell my parents, like, yeah, well, there's two shows you can come to. There's the early and the late. And they'll be like, I'll be like, there's 8 o'clock and 10. She's like, 8 o'clock's the early show. That's what they used to say all the time. Early. And that's how I feel now. I've
huh?
totally 8 o'clock's early.
So now
But I'm
you're
doing
now
all
you're a
these.
fan of that 5:30 Dr. Grins show.
Oh my God, please. I remember comics used to complain because, like, you do comedy if it's light out, that's the death. Oh, you can't do
Yeah.
comedy when it's still light. Oh my God. Give me some noon shows. Give me those college noon shows.
Huh?
you know, I can get to my
I
5 o'clock
can't get up
reservation.
there. I can't do that.
Oh my gosh. And like, and then now, cause I'm still doing these virtual shows, and being on the West Coast, it's great. Cause it's like, okay, we're having our show at 7 o'clock. And then for me, it's like, it's a 4 o'clock. I'm done
Yeah.
at 4:45. Put on my slippers like Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Call it a night.
Yeah.
But no. Okay. Well, you sound like
I can
you
relate.
don't have the
Yeah,
same
I'll
experience.
back you up 98%.
I'll take it. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's more than I deserve. But yeah, I've just been having that problem because we're having fun on this trip too, and we're
Yeah.
drinking. And it's not just all patio painting. Okay, we're knocking a few back,
You're not
having a
going to
good time.
feedback.
But then it's like, oh my God, it's like I gotta stop drinking by like 8:30 in the evening if I want to get any sleep.
How many are you
tonight.
drinking? Are you drinking wine or beer or what?
Hey man, we drink them all. I've been having
Oh, real
margaritas,
party
having
house
a little
over there.
wine. Yeah, as long as it happens before 6 in the afternoon, 6 in the evening, we get after it. You
Nice.
know, we had yeah, wine, beer, margaritas.
You guys
Kind
play
of the
spin the
main.
bottle and shit.
Yes, Jenny, we play spin the bottle with my wife, my infant daughter, my mom, my dad, and my aunt. Spin the bottle is the game that we suggested to play.
Uh, yeah, they talk about spin the bottle in Arthur. You know what Arthur is? That kid's book that's like a PBS show. The little
Oh yeah, and he's got the
guy.
glasses, big
Yeah,
dork.
yeah. I was reading a book, and they talk about, oh, these two kids are having a birthday party the same day, and they're like, oh, what are we gonna do? We're gonna have spin the bottle at my party. And my son Duncan started laughing. He's like, dude, Dad, do you know what that is? I was like, what is that? He's like, you spin a bottle, and the skinny part, when you spin it, if that is at someone, you have to kiss them. And then he starts giggling. Like, how old is Arthur? Isn't Arthur like in 4th grade?
Yeah,
They
there
spin the
is a
bottle in
weird
4th
thing.
grade.
Well, yeah.
And why is that in a
what?
kids show?
Look! Now you're one of these parents now. Inappropriate. You're like calling the network. Inappropriate. How am I supposed to explain this to my kids? Meanwhile, your kid's explaining it to you.
Right. Guess what my kid just taught me? You taught him.
When is the proper age range to play? Because I feel like if you're too old, it's like way too
Stupid.
laden with or you'll get canceled, or consent comes into there's all sorts of.
I thought it was like a high school thing. Right?
Yeah, I guess high school. I never played Spin the Bottle. I'm gonna be honest. I never came up for me. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know what
maybe
it
it's
was.
a myth.
I just
maybe
wanted
no one's
him to tell me.
Maybe nobody. Well,
you tell
him afterward. You're like, hey, buddy, your dad knew what that was. Okay, I just wanted to see if you knew what it was. So don't think you're like cooler than me. No, I never played it. No one ever asked.
But I knew, and I was waiting.
But I knew what it was. I would have been really good at it.
I wish. Oh man, sometime I'll play it with my aunt and.
Yeah, we're gonna play that tonight. All right, buddy. Oh,
all right, good episode. Oh, look at this. You ever notice how it's flawless when we don't have fucking guests? Isn't that weird?
Gumming up the system, just these shitty, stupid guests. Ugh. No, but hey, thanks for listening, everybody. And remember,
leave a 5-star review.
And what you need backup on in your life, and we'll talk about it on the show. And I'm gonna be at, I think, if I have my timing right, okay, and it could be hilarious if I get this wrong when this episode comes out, but I think I will be at Laughs Comic Club May 21st and 22nd in Seattle. So if you're in Seattle,
Ben Beaner will be at one of them. He's gonna get going.
Make sure he says what's up. We'll play Spin the Bottle.
All right. He just got engaged.
Oh,
so maybe he'll play too.
Okay, it just gets weirder. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Oh wait, Johnny, you have anything? I
was hoping you'd forget. No, I don't.
Railroad you.
No, I do. I have. No, I don't. My son has a baseball game on May 22nd. That's at the.
Please go if you are listening to this. And just heckle the umpire mercilessly.
Yeah, I just have a bunch of gig master shit coming up.
Wait, have you ever yelled at an umpire for your kids' games?
What am I going to yell? What does that mean? How does this game work?
Slow down. I didn't understand that last part. Don't you think you should be explaining this to everyone as you go along? This is a disgrace.
Who was Bill Strawberry?
Was Strawberry a nickname, or was that his real name? All right, that's it. Thanks for listening.
All right, that's it. On the Cavalry.